The Last of Us is one of the most well-known narrative-based games of recent times. Seeing its reputation in the gaming community, Hollywood was obviously quick to adapt the game for mainstream television. But hey, apparently HBO is doing everything right. The Last of Us series is already regarded as one of the best video game adaptations to hit the screen. We are 2 episodes down already. What does episode 3 have in store for us? Let's find out. The Last of Us video game was originally released in 2013. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic US, 20 years after the majority of the population has been transformed into mindless monsters by a parasitic fungus called cordyceps. It centers on Joel, a seasoned smuggler played by Pedro Pascal in the show. Joel is charged with transporting Ellie, who is played by Bella Ramsey, and who has an apparent uncommon immunity to the illness. So far, the TV adaptation has stayed true to the storyline of the game, but we might be seeing some deviations in the upcoming episodes. We are only 2 episodes in, and the show has already lost 2 significant characters. We were all shown at the beginning how Joel's life was in shambles in the early days of the cordyceps outbreak.
Oh, hi.
Connie was asking after you. Said you hadn't been over in a while. Make him happy.
I could come by after school, but just for like a little bit.
She'll take what you got. Y'all can wait. Whatever. Speaking of,
He lost his beloved daughter Sarah while attempting to flee his village in 2003, if that wasn't difficult enough. Episode 2 of the show ended with Tess losing her life to the infected as well. Tess was Joel's partner in his smuggling business, and the character is played, or rather was played, by Anna Torv. After becoming infected, Tess surrendered, setting off an explosion that killed dozens of the infected and provided Joel and Ellie with a way out. Tess's final instruction to Joel was to take Ellie to Bill, which, according to the game's timeline,
Ellie,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this.
get a move on.
is exactly what we get to see in episode 3. It seems safe to assume that we'll be seeing Joel and Ellie travel to Bill's town based on how episode 2 ended. If you haven't played the PlayStation game, Bill is an old friend of Joel's who has built his own village and lives alone there to fend off the infected. Bill was mentioned in passing by Tess in the prior episode, and it has already been made known to us that Nick Offerman has been chosen to play Bill in the show. We got a glimpse of the paranoid, grungy-looking Bill in the HBO Max preview, being extremely unwelcoming to any intruders trying to trespass into his infection-free town. Episode 3 will reportedly have one major surprise.
Boston is that way. You can make it by nightfall.
I'm really hungry. Haven't eaten in 2 days. Doesn't sound very long out loud, does it? It feels long.
I'm letting you go, so go.
All right, look.
As it surrounds the character Frank in the game. Bill's ex-partner Frank is found dead and is discovered by Joel, Ellie, and Bill. But the show seems to be deviating from the game's storyline at this point. Given that Murray Bartlett had been hired for the role, it already seemed unlikely that Frank was just gonna show up as a dead body in HBO's adaptation of The Last of Us. That obviously turned out to be true, as we got to see Frank well and alive in the pre-release promo. The fact that Frank appears to still be alive already deviates significantly from the game's original plot, proving that episode 3 showrunner Craig Mazin and producer Neil Druckmann will adopt a very different strategy. Since we're talking about it, why not just take a detailed overview of the minute-long review released by HBO Max, right? Very well then. The promo begins with a shabby Nick Offerman watching surveillance tapes. Upon hearing some sort of disruption, he goes, "Not today, you New World Order jackboots," as he fixes his gaze on a group of individuals being herded into a military truck. The video clip then fast forwards to reveal Bill alone in his garage. And as he works, his alarms start blaring. We already know Bill is not a welcoming man. But wait a minute, it's Frank in one of his traps. He is alive. Indeed, he is, as this is the first time the fans of the game have actually seen Frank instead of just hearing mentions of him. Bill turns to Frank and points his rifle at him, refusing to feed him. Bill fears unwanted attention, and he's in no mood to turn his safe haven into a fungus-infected freak diner. Very rightly so, Bill. Frank watches with a bewildered expression, but with a clever retort, manages to connect with Bill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Later in the clip, we see the two of them together. The scene then shifts to Ellie exploring a home and grabbing a firearm. Joel won't be far behind though, so don't worry. We also caught a glimpse of a handwritten note next to the firearm. Could that be the infamous suicide note left by Frank in the video game? That note is pretty much all that is known about Frank in the game. But wait, Frank is alive in the show. Do we detect foul play by fungus people? We can't wait to find out.
We will never have friends because there are no friends to be had.
I've actually been talking to a nice woman on the radio.
You what?
Well, this really is just, it's amazing.
Right? Mm-hmm. Can you not, please?
We also see a dialogue between Joel and Bill, in which Joel states that robbers will sooner or later target Bill's hideout property. Then as Bill's flamethrower traps and barbed wire barriers are shown being tested, we watch scenes of that exact prediction coming true. Bill's town is under attack. He is seen confidently shooting intruders one minute, and in the next, as his terrified companion watches, he is shot down and hurt. He orders Franks to call Joel. Rapid-fire shots are used to show the rest of the teaser. We see a skeleton, Joel and Ellie strolling together, someone tearing down a fence with a truck, etc. But most concerningly, we witness Ellie putting a knife to the face of an infected animal. What on earth went down over there? We see one last shot of Bill, a rather peaceful and hopeful one. He replies to Joel's worry about raiders by saying, "We'll be alright." Those three words are essentially a death wish in this reality. "We just saw you under attack, Bill. You are not gonna be okay." That is all the promo told us about the episode, and it was enough to let us know that this week's episode is gonna pack a punch. And wait, there's more good news for the viewers following the show. The Last of Us Episode 3 will be longer than anticipated.
To whomever, but probably Joel. I figured I fell under whomever.
This is another deviation from the usual, since most of the episodes are known to have 1 hour of runtime, but HBO has already stated that Episode 3 of The Last of Us will last 80 minutes. More for us, huh? Exciting! We don't know why this episode is longer than usual, but we can tell from the preview that there's a lot of action to cover. The show was initially scheduled to have 10 episodes, but with its release, the number of episodes was dropped to 9 in total. This might also be the reason we're getting occasional longer episodes. The episode length can be adjusted for better flow. So even with this episode coming out this week, we still have 6 more episodes to look forward to, as Joel attempts to get Ellie to the Fireflies. The third episode is titled Long, Long Time, and it premiered on the 30th of January 2023. Have you gotten around to watching it yet? If yes, tell us how you liked it. If not, what are you waiting for? Grab your favorite snack, and it is happy watching to you. See you around next time.